this? The faculty all-star basketball game between Dixon's dropouts and Kaufman's Cougars, originally scheduled for this afternoon, will be postponed for a week due to the flu bug, which has stricken 2 of the Cougars' starting 5. What's the matter?
Not next week.
Why not?
They'll be decorating the gym for the dance.
So we'll have an enchanted basketball game.
Right?
Good morning. Good morning, Miss McIntyre.
Good morning.
Hello.
You wanted to see me?
Oh, yes. Your team has been spared a thrashing for a week. My best rebounder has been felled by the flu bug.
Who, Miss Trepke?
No. Oh, do me a favor, will you? You finish these. I'm making you the temporary interim editor. Try to give them the same sense of bounce and verb that I would.
I'll certainly try, Mr. Kaufman.
Now, what I want to talk to you about. Can you give me a hint?
I don't have the slightest idea.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. There's a young man will be visiting your first period class today to talk to the students about the Peace Corps.
I had a test scheduled, but I guess I can postpone it until tomorrow.
I am sure the students will survive their disappointment at not having it today.
Who is this guy from the Peace Corps? What's his name?
Kaufman, Martin Kaufman.
Your son?
He's back from 1.5 years in Uganda.
Why didn't you tell me you were expecting him?
I wasn't. He just showed up on the doorstep last night. He's got a week's leave, so he talked himself into a couple of military flights to see his girlfriend in New York.
How long is he going to be here?
Only until tonight. But I figure I'm lucky to have him that long. If I had a girl waiting for me for 1.5 years in New York, I don't know that I'd be here.
So how is he?
Oh, great, sensitive, noble, intelligent. You know, Martin.
Only by the letters you've shown me.
Oh, yeah, he writes great letters. Sometimes I think we communicate better by writing than by talking. Maybe we ought to pass notes back and forth.
Well, look, where is he? I'd like to meet him.
He's visiting Mrs. Banducci. He was always her favorite pupil, even though I'm not her favorite principal. Come on. Oh, here he is now.
Hi, Dad. Sorry that took so long. Mrs. Banducci wanted to know everything I've been doing for the past 2 years in detail.
Doesn't she have enough problems? Pete Dixon, my son Martin.
How do you do?
Martin, I heard a lot of good things about you.
Oh, you must have been talking with Mrs. Banducci.
Listen, I hear you're leaving tonight. Too bad you can't be with us longer.
Shush, don't talk him into anything. He's eating me out of house and home. Besides, his girl's waiting for him in New York.
There's the first period. I've got to get to class. Would you like to come along with me?
Yeah, see you later, Dad?
Hi, Mr. Kaufman. Good to be back.
Back? Back from where?
Oh, I've been out 3 days with the 6-day flu.
How did you manage that, Miss Johnson?
Well, I didn't want to miss any practice teaching, so I came to school the first 3 days I was sick.
Miss Johnson, I realize you don't want to miss anything, but please don't come to school when you're sick. We don't want other people catching your viruses.
Mr. Kaufman, as of this morning, there are 11 teachers out with this bug that's going around.
11?
Oh, Mr. Kaufman, I'm so sorry.
It's not just in this school, Miss Johnson. It's all over the city.
We have a guest with us today, a member of the Peace Corps who's just returned from 1.5 years in Uganda. So the test will be postponed until tomorrow. Welcome back, Miss Johnson. We missed you.
Thank you.
Our guest is here to talk to us today about the Peace Corps, what it means to him and could possibly mean to you. I think you'll find what he has to say very interesting. And to add to that interest, you'll find a few questions about the Peace Corps and Uganda on the test. Like, where is it? Jason.
I thought you said the test ain't till tomorrow.
Al,
Somewhere in Africa.
Central Africa.
you gotta give me more than that. Anybody. All right, Richie.
Uganda is west of Kenya, south of the Sudan, east of the Congo, and north of, anyway, Tanzania's in there too. Nothing wrong with knowing.
Let's welcome our speaker, Martin Kaufman.
Well, as they'd say in the official language of Uganda, it's nice to be here. Now, that's because in Uganda, the official language is English, although there is strong sentiment, especially among the younger people, to make Lugandese the official language, which makes sense because, of course, in Uganda, English is a foreign language.
Okay, I'll tell him.
I'm on my way to Dixon's class to hear my son.
That was the nurse. She had to send Mr. Curtis home with a temperature of 103. You'll have to find somebody to cover Chemistry 1 next period.
Oh, boy. Who's got a free second period?
Mrs. Frankel. No, she's been home with the flu since last Thursday. Mr. Josephson.
Josie's a good man, and he's a wonderful swimming teacher, but I don't think he's the perfect person to teach Chem 1.
Who then?
Mr. Kaufman, I wonder if I could have a few minutes of your time. Willie Anderson was supposed to bring his mother in for a counseling session this
Miss
morning.
McIntyre. Miss McIntyre. I would love to talk to you, but you don't have time. You have some very fast cramming to do.
Sir?
Mr. Curtis just went home with the flu, and you're taking his second period chemistry class.
Me?
Yes.
Chemistry?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Kaufman, I haven't touched a chemistry book since I was a sophomore in college.
Don't worry about it. You'll be wonderful. Oh, just remember not to put nitric acid and glycerin together.
What does that make?
They're very loud.
If you know what you want out of life, fine. Go do it. More power to you. But if you feel a little uneasy about where you're going, about where the world is going, then I can't think of a better way of getting on the track than in the Peace Corps. And you meet a lot of groovy chicks. All right, anybody want to ask me some questions?
I'll ask the first question. How old do you have to be to join?
I think you'd qualify, Mr. Dixon. Now, actually, the minimum age is 18, and the average is about 23. But anybody under 20 or so would really have to have a special skill in order to be accepted very easily.
That would let me out.
Miss Johnson,
What did you do before you joined?
I taught school for a year, a class like this.
No wonder you wanted to go to Africa.
Hey, Mr. Kaufman, can you go into the Peace Corps instead of the Army?
No, I'm afraid the best you can hope for is a deferment. Jason.
Do you have any black people in your Peace Corps?
Yes, we do. But we'd like to have a great many more. Yes?
Mr. Kaufman, are you any relation to Mr. Kaufman?
Yes, distantly. He's my father.
Say, what was the picture?
50 more to go, and we're officially an epidemic.
Have you called some of the teachers that were out today to find out if they're coming back tomorrow?
Oh, 1 or 2. But if things keep going this way, 3 or 4 more will call in sick in the morning.
Thanks for making my day.
You're welcome. Sir, this is my first epidemic.
See where we are now. Well, there's no one to take Mr. Jaffe's 5th period class.
How about me?
You?
Why not? I'm a qualified teacher.
You're going to New York tomorrow.
I'll go later.
What about your girlfriend? She'd never forgive you, or me.
I'll telephone. She'll understand.
Oh, Martin. After 2 years in Africa, you want to spend your vacation in a jungle.
Dad, I'd like to help you out.
Suppose the epidemic lasts through your whole vacation. What then?
Then you'd need me more than ever.
Martin, thank you very much, but some other time. When we need somebody to teach Lugandese, maybe. Hello, Bonnie. Yeah. Now, look, get me the substitute board again.
Dad!
No, please, Martin. Go to New York. Have a good time. Hello, Bonnie. Oh, Fred. Yeah, Fred, this is Kaufman again. Look, what did we do during that Asian flu epidemic in '57? Well, whatever we did, let's do it again.
Yes, Mr. Kaufman?
I'm taking Mr. Jaffe's 5th period class. Where is it?
Room 314. Thank goodness. I didn't think we'd find anybody in time. I don't know what we'd have done without you.
That's what my father always says.
around to help out. True act of heroism.
Or masochism. My father says anybody who'd stay here and teach instead of going to New York to see his girlfriend is in desperate need of psychiatric care. He may be right.
Well, he's that way, you know.
Yeah, I know. If I won the Nobel Peace Prize, he'd send me a funny telegram.
He treats everybody that way.
I'm not everybody. Emotional security isn't everything.
Right. Did you see him when he got here yesterday? Why Good morning, Pete.
Oh, hi, Liz.
Hi.
Hi.
What do you think our chances are of making it through another day?
Oh, about the same as making it through yesterday.
Well, I'm not that optimistic.
Who's optimistic? I still don't think we'll make it through yesterday.
All right, over here, everyone. Now, I was up most of the night, several hours this morning, working this thing out so that, whoever owns that, excuse me, so that every class is covered and every teacher is accounted for, excuse me. Now, I'm afraid you're all going to have to give up your free periods in order to make this thing work.
Did you do this?
Yes, I did.
You print beautifully.
All right. Now, please, check the schedule very carefully. Make sure everybody knows exactly where they're supposed to be and when. And if anybody's even dreaming about getting sick today, I have just one word of caution. Don't get sick tomorrow, not today. We can't afford it.
Mr. Kaufman. That was Mrs. Vaughn. She didn't hear you. She got sick today.
Oh. Oh.
Hey, well, wait a minute, Mr. Kaufman. I think we can work this out without Mrs. Vaughn. I'll take your first period bookkeeping class if you can take our shorthand class.
No. Well, what about Mrs. Vaughn's free period? I've got her down to take Miss Dunstan's home planning and management class.
Wait a minute. I can take that if somebody can take my fourth period basic math. No.
You're on.
Oh, I love
Somebody will take mechanical drawing for me.
I got class.
Okay.
Where?
Give me class. If you can take my public speaking, then I'll take his mechanical drawing. What's that?
What?
I've got a class. What? He gave me class. That class you're taking, it's not room for what period? Okay, I think that does it. We've got everything covered. Hey, everybody check this list before you go to make sure you know what you've got.
Okay.
Got it?
All
Okay.
right, tell me.
Where's
I
mine?
have mine. No, it's in the auditorium. Right. And there's...
Hey, wait a minute. Somebody's made a mistake.
150 kids, right?
They got me down for... I know it's been a lot of laughs, but it's a well-established fact that the best cooks in the world have been men. Now, you may not believe this, but there's one thing that I can do in the kitchen better than anybody else in the world. Who's gonna drive?
Now, I want you to dance what you feel. Let your body movements interpret the music. You can do it. Feel it. Feel it. Oh, come on, don't be shy. You can do it.
Les vacances. Tu aimes les vacances. Tu aimes les vacances. Il aime les vacances.
Will someone please tell me what the lesson for today is supposed to be?
Mr. Graham was going to show us how to dissect a frog. Want me to get it out of the jar for you, Miss Kaufman?
That won't be necessary. I've decided we're going to have a review today. Now then. Pollination in flowers. Seed development occurs after flowering only if the pollen... Seed... Excuse me a moment.
Oh, how'd it go today?
Whew, I'm exhausted, but otherwise not too bad. A couple of boys in fifth period art tried to convince me to use nude models.
What you need to do is relax and have some fun. How about dinner tonight?
I'd love to.
Good, I'll be at your place at 7.
Okay.
Oh. What are you fixing?
Well, friends, I don't know how we made it, but we did make it today. Of course, if we lose one more teacher before tomorrow, I will shoot myself. You may consider that a pep talk. Seriously, you've all done a wonderful job, and I thank you. And my mother thanks you, and my father thanks you, and the school board thanks you. And I don't know why you're all standing around here, because it's all right to go home. Goodbye.
Oh, hello there, Martin.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for helping me break up that fight today. I was scared to death.
You're welcome.
What fight? Who was fighting?
The janitor and the nurse.
Mañana.
See you tomorrow.
Well, it isn't all tinsel and glitter here like it is in Uganda, is it, Martin? Well, what do you mean, close the school if you don't have enough teachers? If I close this school, at least 2/3 of these kids don't have any place to go. Well, it is not like the weekend. The last time they were free during the week, they turned this neighborhood into a madhouse. I will not close this school. I may have to close the school.
Oh, that would be awful, Mr. Kaufman. Half those kids don't have any place to go.
Don't give me that sob story. We've lost 6 more teachers since yesterday, and there's no chance of any substitutes. Much as I hate to admit it, closing Whitman is a very real possibility.
Oh, well, couldn't we divide up the students among us and have study halls all day?
Oh, I suppose as a last resort, but I hate to keep them just marking time. I'd like to keep the classes going if we can. Now, does anybody have another idea?
Well, we built a school in Uganda, and then some of the guys got sick, and there were only a few of us left, and so we had to combine 2 and 3 subjects into the same class.
Hey, why couldn't that work here?
Look, it could work. I could combine my first period American history class with world geography, and even journalism. And using the morning newspaper, we could talk about how the subjects relate.
Yes, like bookkeeping and basic math.
Automobile mechanics and physics in the 4th period.
Yeah,
The fabulous idea. I mean, it shows how the subjects interrelate. It really would work.
Okay, it's a fair idea in a pinch, and I hereby declare this thing a pinch. We'll try it. Okay, now I want to see the department heads in my office right away, please. And folks, it's going to be kind of a long first period, so let's hold the fort.
Right.
I suppose you're waiting for a compliment.
I wouldn't mind.
I like your tie.
Thank you.
Morning. Mr. Dixon.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Kaufman. You know, combining those classes like Martin suggested really worked yesterday.
Well, it wasn't a bad idea. I think we're out of the woods now. The substitute board's been offering me teachers all morning now that we don't need them. Oh, come on. I want to show you something. It's for Martin. Sort of a thank you gift for his help. I had to get a guy out of bed at 6:30 this morning to inscribe it.
Why a horse?
I don't know, it's the silliest looking thing they had. Read the inscription, it's funny. Don't you think it's funny?
Yeah, it's funny. Mr. Kaufman, I admit that it's none of my business. But don't you think Martin would appreciate knowing how you actually feel rather than getting a gag gift?
Isn't it getting a little late for your next class?
You know, putting those classes together yesterday,
Well, I felt it made education seem so meaningful.
don't mind me. I talk like this all the time. I drive your father right up the wall.
I'm glad to hear it.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
I'd wish I'd gotten to know you better.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, maybe we can keep in touch. I mean, that is if you're not already otherwise socially encumbered.
Well, I am somewhat encumbered. That's why I'm going back to New York.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Been a pleasure. See you again sometime?
I'm on my way to the airport.
I'm sorry I can't drive here. I can't get a substitute principal.
That's okay. It's easier to take a cab.
Say hello to Joanne for me.
I will. What's that?
Well, that's a trophy.
Whose trophy?
It's a school's. We just won it.
With a horse on it? What'd you win it for?
Polo. Polo. Martin.
Goodbye, Dad.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Martin.
Yes?
Come here, please. Martin, there's some things that are not easy for some people to say. Some people aren't good at certain things. You know what I'm driving at.
No. I don't think I do.
You're really not going to help me with this thing, are you? You're really going to make me say it myself?
Yeah.
All right. Martin, I thank you for what you've done. I thank you for what you are. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry if I haven't shown it. You've turned out better than any father could hope for his son to turn out.
Dad.
Martin, I haven't said this to you since you were 7 years old. But I love you. And now I wish somebody would shoot me because when I get...
Peter? Mr. Kaufman? Looks like you're feeling pretty good this morning.
Better than good. Excuse me. I've got a temperature of 102. The nurse is sending me home.
The flu? Well, you've earned it. We're in good health.
Thank you. Goodbye.